All right, so this episode we're going to talk about what I call the Green New Deal, and it's what started yesterday. I told you yesterday I was driving around San Diego, and I heard them talk about the big three automakers. I guess it is the big three now that I think about it, not the big four. GMC, Chevy, and Ford were pulling out of the lawsuit for fuel industry standards, and they said they were looking forward to working with the new Biden administration, presuming that he's the one in office. How that really solidified the fact that big businesses were just preparing to work with the new administration, which means that they are not looking. It doesn't really their business plan does not really apply any uncertainty. So this is how they're going, and they view there's just completely not really. Basically, there's a ton of certainty, and you add that into the fact that there's basically three vaccines that are out, and there's a bunch coming on the way. We have not only rounded third, we are about getting ready to cross the plate. So, with that being said, I knew today was going to be a big day. We talked about it yesterday. I told you I was going on a spending binge, on an investing binge, and guess what happened? It went up 5.3%. So, let's take a look at the stock market today. The Dow went up 1.54, the Nasdaq went up 1.3, and the S&P went up 1.6, and we went up 5.5 points. So we're going to talk about a little bit what we did today, and we'll talk about some of the stocks today that really kind of popped, and kind of tell a story about what's going on. Then we'll talk about kind of what we did overnight, because there's a lot of activity, and we'll give our prognosis for tomorrow. So, all right, first of all, AMC, one of the ones that we wanted to buy. We told you we wanted to get into the movie theaters again since there's vaccines. That was going to be the market leader, and again, that popped 20% today. So we got in at 410. It's sitting now at 460. So we had a nice little pop on that. We basically had a gain of 12%. So we got 12% of the 20% gain today, which is a beautiful thing. Target Hospitality, they do residence and basically food service for the West Texas oil basin. That went up 6% today, and we got in just about then. I bought it at 180. I just want to make sure I got it. It was at 176 when I bought it. I bought it at 180 just because I want to make sure that I got it, and it didn't hang there. So it's been sitting at 176. We'll leave it at there. It says we're a little bit negative, but it's just because I bought it at 4 cents higher. But that one, if we look at it on a macro, that one has been pretty flat until last year, went down a little bit. But since the coronavirus hit, it had a massive spike in June, and we're anticipating when the virus comes out, we're going to see a spike probably up to about right here off of a virus when we get an emergency use authorization for the virus. All right, Yuko, we had a sell order at 32. We had about $9,500 invested in them. Not invested, but how much we purchased it for. So that one hit 32 for a little bit and then just dropped back under. So we're down to an initial investment of $57.40 basically. So we have about 6,360 in there. So that's exactly what we want to do. We freed up some money. And this one has such tremendous upside. I'm super not worried. I can't wait to see where this one goes. IVR is another one we put a sell order in just to free up some money. We had, I want to say, 2,150 shares, 2,250 shares. We sold 550 or 650. Now we're down to 1,500 shares, 1,550 shares right there. So maybe we had 2,200 shares. So that just freed up. We have about 5,000 left. So we're just balancing out the portfolio a little bit. That one we sold at 335, and it basically it went down to 335 really early. Or is it 330? No, 355. So we sold it, and that's kind of where it's sitting right now. So we're doing pretty good with that one. The stock that I just don't get, Houghton Mifflin, that's, they're the industry leader for textbooks. I don't get why this is a volatile stock, but for whatever reason, it went up 14% today, which is a nice thing. We have a small amount, we put 1,500 in, so we'll enjoy the gain that we have on that one, but I just never understood that stock. Carnival, want to get in the cruise industry. This one definitely had the best numbers. It went up 11%, basically 12 to 13% today. And we got in kind of on the back end. Actually bought it after hours. That's partly the reason we got there. But this stock, when you're looking at a virus and worldwide travel, I mean, and the baby boomers and it's how they spend their money, you're going to see this go back up to this. So once you get an emergency use authorization, they start talking about actually administering the virus, you're going to see this one shoot up. So I don't mind missing the 11% today because we have much greater gains we're going to make on that one. So I'm very happy about that one. Some stocks that are kind of our OG ones that we're going to talk about, our original stocks we had on our watch list and our buys were United. That went up 10% today based on the virus news, or the virus, I keep saying that, the vaccine news. American went up another 10% today as well. And Red Robin, part of our OG crew, went up 14% today as well. I remember we originally bought this for 6. So right now, I mean, I was looking at that last night. I'm like, dude, this would be a 5 times over profit. I mean, if I invested, $4,000 into it, I'd make 20 grand on it. So part of me is a little disappointed, but this one was a little bit of a wild card just because we didn't really know about kind of where things were going for dining and how long things were going. So not a big deal. Would have been nice to, stay with it long term, but que sera, sera. All right, worst airline in the world, Spirit Airlines, went up another 8.5-9% today. And Full House Resorts, one that I had for a little bit, but I don't have right now, went up 10% today. That they basically do small casinos, but we have some good casinos in our portfolio, so I'm not too worried about that. You can't own every stock that pops. I mean, you wish you could, but you can't. And Sasol, and they do basically liquid fuels, chemicals, and low carbon electricity. So just think natural gas. They do basically, they're in Southern Africa, Mozambique, South Africa, Canada, and Gabon. So that one went up 10% today. So that one's a beautiful thing. Let's take a look at our portfolio. So some things that we got AMC today. We bought that at 410. It's sitting at 460. Two Harbors we had that bought yesterday at 675, 75 shares. It's now sitting at 662. It's a little bit under what we bought it for, but I'm super not worried about that. That's definitely going to be a good stock long term. XAN, we have a limit order at 340. If I buy it, I'll buy it if it hits low, but I'm not eager to get it, but it is a good stock. It has a nice upside, but it's going to have to earn the buy if we're going to do that. Carnival Cruise got it to 2037, sitting at 2030 right now, so that's fine. You don't always make profit the first day, but we're in a good spot with that. We're back in the cruise line industry. Target Hospitality, we bought at 180. It's sitting at 176. Again, it was sitting at 176. I put a limit order at 180. It executed at 180. So perfect. Exactly what we wanted to do. And then Helix Energy, bought at 405. It's sitting at 407. So with that being said, the fact that we have UCO freed up $4,000 from UCO, 2,300 from IVR, we freed up 63.39. So that means we got money to spend. So I put in an order for RDI at 377. It's sitting at 380 right now. So if it drops a few cents, we'll buy it. If it goes up tomorrow, we'll revisit it. But 2.62, it's not too bad. So we'll revisit that later. Venom, which is Diamondback Energy. I think that's Diamondback Energy. It's sitting at 11.36. If it drops a penny, we have an order to buy 100 shares. That one we looked at yesterday, just the earnings and the recommendations we have for that one are really good. WPX, the same thing, 786, 785. It's sitting at 788. They've done awesome with earnings this year. So in the worst period of time where you think oil would take a hit, they actually were thriving. So even though the rate is 1.55, the lowest of what we have here, I am definitely not having a problem putting $1,000 invested in that. And then Braemar Resorts, it's sitting at 438, and I put it 438. And I don't know why it hasn't executed yet, but we're going to definitely get this in. I might even bump this one up because this one is just an awesome stock. So that is kind of where we're standing right now. So let's clear. All right, so let's clear these out. Clear contents. Clear contents. All right, and we clear these out. Here, let's make sure I got the right ones that I'm clearing out. Clear these out. Clear these out. Clear these out. And clear that out. All right. So take a look at where we're at here. Basically a couple in red, just they're kind of newbies. So Texas Hospitality and Two Harbors, just because we bought them after hours. Carnival Cruise Line, same thing. Other than that, we're in the black and everything. So we'll look at leader in the clubhouse, Signet Jewelers, which I still can't believe this is our leader in the clubhouse long term. We're close to quadrupling our money. Caesars Entertainment basically is quadrupled at this point. We'll just make it official shortly. Crestwood Equity and Redwood at 240, 240%. Azul's popping at 144, Braemar Resorts at 109, and we're going to bring the cost basis down. This percentage is going to go down just because we're buying it at a higher amount, but I love the stock as a whole. Every, which is our ATM, Vegas ATM company, and PVAC, which is our oil company. Beyond that, VVI, which is Viad, that used to be Greyhound, it's a travel company, is going to be close to doubling. Velocity is going to be close to doubling. Fang, which is Diamondback Energy, which is going to be close to doubling. I mean, we're kicking like chicken. So the portfolio amount totals 111,000. We're close to doubling the investment on what we bought each of these for. But for right now, our initial investment was about 34,000, and we're close to tripling our money. So after the margin, we're basically sitting at 95,000, which is a gain of 61 grand, and we are just getting started, folks. So we have a long, long way to go on this. And this is when we look at our projections. Again, we're sitting here projecting to be somewhere around 275 when all things are done. This is going to be the beach house, but I've also decided this is going to be law school as well. One of the things that I've wanted to do for the longest time but haven't pulled the trigger on was go to law school. Part of it is it was 130 grand, and I figured if I was going to go in debt for 130 grand, which is now 175 grand, I kind of want to have a good sense on what I want to do and what I want to use it for. But got cash, you can pay it with cash, then that's a beautiful thing too. So we're doing our beach house and law school, which is a absolutely beautiful thing. As far as stocks that are actually met our requirement of what we want to do for upside, we have Signet, Diamondback Energy, DraftKings, which really isn't a COVID stock, so we don't count them, and Caesars Entertainment. The next one to probably pop is going to either be Two Harbors, which we just bought, Carnival Cruise Line, or AMC. But with vaccine news coming around, a lack of uncertainty on the future, even though the election isn't really officially over yet, you see a lot of companies kind of making plans, and all the things that were left as uncertain in the last few months are pretty much in the back burner. So we hit 30,000. Stock market hit 30,000 for the first time. And so part of it was, one, it was the vaccine, but two, it was Janet Yellen as part of the Fed. Now, I am not a big fan of Janet Yellen. She used to be heading the Federal Reserve. She now got nominated to be Treasury Secretary. She's an ultimate insider. She's probably going to get approved without much of a hassle. And she is an absolute, she was a QE person. So she loves QE, which is basically creating money out of thin air, which means that's more money to go to the stock market, which means stock valuations and equities go up, which means we're probably going to hit 40 at some point, 40,000 at some point. So even looking at it for tomorrow, it's up a small amount today. Even you'd think there'd be some profit taking today, but we don't see that. So maybe it's a mix of the exuberance and some profit taking, kind of ends up being a little bit slightly positive. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow. But overall, we're looking really good. I am looking forward to getting the next milestone. We hit 90,000 as our milestone. I already got this column set up for six figures. So we need about 5,500, roughly 5,600, before we hit 100,000 as a net valuation for this portfolio. So onward and upward. We got a beach house and law school to go to. With that being said, I will see you tomorrow. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.